All I know is, if you got one of these in the garage, someone's gonna try to steal it. Hi everybody, and a warm welcome back to Maple Leaf Customs in Switzerland. I'm Andrew, and on the bench today is a 1:64 scale Hot Wheels 1972 Ford Gran Torino Sport. Mine's brand new right out of the box. It's a nice replica of the real car, done up in orange with some racing striped tampos. I like the front grille. Staggered wheels, and some tinted glass. I'm working on this one as my second summer road trip buddy build entry, this time with spray-it-up diecast. We decided on the theme of muscle cars for this one. The Hot Wheels casting, designed by Brendan Vituski, debuted in the 2011 New Model series and is still under production today. The real car was first released in 1968 as a competitor in the intermediate mid-size market. Named after the Italian automotive capital Turin, the Torino began life as a high-end variant of the Fairlane. While the majority of Torinos produced were rather sedate four-door sedans and two-door coupes, Ford did produce some muscle car versions that featured the manufacturer's premium large displacement high output V8s. In 1972, Ford doubled down on the Torino and redesigned it once again. Now available in 3 trim lines, Torino, Gran Torino, and Gran Torino Sport, the car was built on a new body-on-frame design. The new Torino also featured a gaping maw of a grille, flanked by quad headlamps, a long hood, a short trunk, and Coke bottle flanks. The new design was a sales hit, selling close to 500,000 units, making it the best-selling car in its class. One of my high school girlfriend's family had a Gran Torino, a huge big boat of a thing that I used to drive her around in. No power steering, as I recall, and a beast to try to parallel park downtown. Right, so mine's all drilled apart and tapped and ready for a couple of temporary screws, which will wrap up the whole disassembly and preparation stage for paint stripping, primer, and paint. I use M4 size 4mm screws for this. These ones are Phillips head. I've never seen a restored Torino on the road anywhere in Europe since coming here decades ago, even though there is no shortage of American muscle car enthusiasts over here. I see lots of Vets and Mustangs. This one's a real unicorn. So, off with the old paint. That wasn't too tough a battle. I changed desks, and now I'm ready to do some bare metal detail with a couple of different attachments for my rotary tool. This one was pretty truly cast with no big surprises underneath the paint. I always did like the lines on the Torino. I always consider degreasing and primer to be the end of phase 1 of any custom job, and I'm having fun with this one. Coming up real soon on Maple Leaf Customs is my next 4 Horsemen build on a movie car theme and my last 2 summer road trip buddy builds. You can look for these and more with regular video drops at the same time every Saturday. I hope to see you back, and thanks for helping me get closer to 10,000 subs. Now, of course, I was tempted to go the Starsky and Hutch direction with their iconic red and white Gran Torino, but I chose to go a different path, which necessitated loading up my airbrush with some dark green. A darker primer would have been a good idea. My favorite paints and airbrushes can all be found on the Gaahleri website, which I kindly direct you to, and remember you can use my affiliate link for a 10% discount. Of course, I'm going for Walt Kowalski's Gran Torino Sport from the great Clint Eastwood movie. Interestingly, being the eponymous car from the film, the Gran Torino didn't feature very prominently, hiding out in the garage for most of the time, so I had to rely on a handful of movie stills that I got from Google Images to properly detail this one. One of the prominent features was this gold pinstriping that runs from stem to stern. I accomplished that using this nail art tape. It has a sticky back which helps hold it in place at least temporarily, but it absolutely needs a clear coat finish to affix it permanently. That's the right look. Having done away with the original orange paint on the body, it's time to do the same with this plastic chassis. It's now matte black and ready for some highlights. I use Molotov chrome from one of their refill bottles and apply it with a fine tip detail brush. The 72 Gran Torino Sport featured in the 2006 movie was portrayed as the original possession of Walt Kowalski, a retired Ford assembly worker. It's one of the 92,033 top-of-the-line 72 Gran Torino Sport two-door fastbacks produced, and looks magnificent with Magnum 500 wheels and the 4Q dark green metallic paint with the gold laser stripe. The neighborhood gangbanger's infringement on his territory and interest in his car is what prompted the "get off my lawn" quote. Today's community shout-out goes to my buddy for this muscle car build, Spray It Up Diecast. There's a link in the description so you can check him out on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. You'll want to see his muscle car for sure. Though the engine bay is only shown for a split second in the film, movie car nerds tell us that Walt's car packs Ford's hot motor for the unleaded gas-mandated 72 model year, the 4-barrel high-output 351 cubic inch Cleveland Cobra Jet V8. While no match for the big leaded gas 428 and 429 high-compression Cobra Jets and Super Cobra Jets of previous years, the 72 Cleveland nonetheless produced a respectable 300 horsepower, enough to propel the car from 0 to 60 in under 7 seconds, and the quarter mile in the low 15-second range, making Walt's car no slouch by contemporary muscle car standards. I'm giving mine a swapped-out wood grain steering wheel based on one of those quick glimpses of the interior from the movie. And I started out with a light gray interior with some black wash for highlights, but I ended up doing that over in darker gray later on. While making the film, Clint really fell for this car, and he ended up buying it for his own private collection. So, unlike a lot of movie cars that are auctioned off or scrapped, this Gran Torino Sport remains with the actor-director to this day. As a big Clint Eastwood fan, I was hoping he'd hang in there until I got this video uploaded, and it looks like he has. By the way, my birthday is in just a couple of weeks, and I will officially be get off my lawn years old. Still young enough to have fun with my little cars, though, including making these bespoke 3D printed Krager wheels. Spray them with chrome, and then I put them inside of some Samed rubber tires with their logo turned inside out. Sorry guys. Staggered like the original casting was. That's an important upgrade. See the spacers I put on the front axle? Spreads them out a little bit wider. And then I fearlessly jump into the foray and do some chrome window trim by hand using this pen. It's a bit nerve-wracking coming this late in the game with everything else nearly finished. And it came out pretty good. I didn't feel I could leave that important detail undone. Decals on the Gran Torino Sport include blinkers, trunk badges, and the logo on the front grille too. Everything was clear coated, and the day after that I do a final polishing to give the whole thing a super nice shine. NHL great Bobby Hull is on the scene for today's reassembly. Here are all my parts laid out, including the glistening body with gold laser trim, I never touched the tinted glass, but the interior got a steering wheel swap and some new dark gray leather, grille detail, and taillights. 3D printed Krager wheels set off the chassis nicely, as does the detail on the undercarriage. Real rubber on those, don't forget. And everything goes back together as it always does with these few parts in the reverse order that I disassembled them in. Let's have a closer look. I really do like the finish that I got with that polish. New sport wheels. Basically tried to catch all the highlights that I could from the movie and accompanying Google images. There's a custom license plate with the build number on the back. And the whole thing makes for a neat little package that I think turned out quite well. Not too much to complain about with the original form of the Gran Torino Sport. Hot Wheels made a decent looking car, but I think it looks even better done up in Clint Eastwood style. My personal tip of the hat to the man who's given me so much entertainment over my lifetime. Clint's filmography is an awesome collection of work. Let me know with a respectful comment below what your favorite Eastwood movie is, or one of the great quotes that you can recall. Thanks for visiting my channel again today, and thanks to Spray It Up Diecast for being my buddy in this summer road trip video. Remember to check his out too. Come on back soon, and often. It's coffee time.